Third down and 16. Breeze dodges the rush and has the completion. Then the fumble. Now it's ruled incomplete pass.
I tell you, I love watching Earl Thomas play football. He's so quick and so...
Now running left. First time he's carried it to the left side. A loss of 1. Mike Shanahan's had that golden touch with running backs. Aired out. Garcon and picked off. Intercepted by Earl Thomas. Morgan on the tackle, but the first takeaway for this Seattle defense for the interception.
Well, Earl Thomas is going back to the Pro Bowl for a reason, and you see, I mean, he reads this the entire way. There's nobody on the other side of the field to hold him, and a ball that was thrown late, that was easy for Earl Thomas to get over the top and make a play on that. RG3, who held it just a tick longer, and you need to get that ball out towards the sideline, thrown too far to the inside, unable to hold Thomas in the middle.
Trailing 27-14, and Ryan throws it down the field, and it's intercepted. Or was it out of bounds? No, it is an interception, a second straight week for Earl Thomas. You wonder about that decision by Matt Ryan. That had no chance of being caught. So we talked about a defender.
3rd and 13. Boy, that secondary does its job. What else is new? And it's deflected and incomplete.
To get the big plays. They've got Tammy as the second tight end, as Green again is being checked for concussion-like symptoms. And Manning with some zip on that one. The ball comes out. It was caught by Thomas, and he fumbled. It was ruled a catch on the field. Malcolm Smith with the recovery.
Let's make sure it's a catch. Up. Got to get 2 feet on the ground. Does time elapse?
It's going to be close.
It's very close.
Yeah.
We saw it in slow motion. It always looks like a catch. As he hits the ground, it's like, boom, the football comes out. So let's watch it full speed. If it's bang, bang, it's an incomplete pass. Well, John Fox has got to challenge this play.
Out as well, sitting with a thigh injury. Newton gets out of trouble. And then faces it again. Second wave. Michael Bennett was able to hem him in for a loss of 7 on the play.
Yeah, he told us that this defense is big and they're fast. You can see that was going to be a quarterback draw all the way. A good job up front by the Seahawks.
3rd and goal. Stewart stacked up initially. Stewart still on his feet. But look at all the wolf gray jerseys getting in the face of Stewart, McDaniel, Earl Thomas, Bennett. Loss of 7 on the play, and Carolina forced to kick another field goal.
Well, you're a yard and a half or so away from the goal line.
Manning keeps it, going for it all. Beckham in the end zone, picked off. Intercepted by Thomas. Earl Thomas back the other way. Outside the 40.
Joe, this is what I was talking about earlier. When you go against Richard Sherman, you got to be real careful on the deep throw. Beckham having to try to play defense here, tips it up. Earl Thomas is able to come.
Smith on 3rd down. It's Kelsey. It's close. Ball came loose. And it is Seahawks football.
Let's see what happens at the end. Didn't look like any body part was down. He was on top of KJ Wright, so I don't think Travis Kelce was down. It's the hit by Earl Thomas right on the ball at first.
Well, he was ruled.
And Smith hands it off to Charles. Looks to find his way back to the line of scrimmage. Ball comes loose. Officials trying to get to the bottom of the pile. Chiefs committed a turnover towards the end of the first half. Travis Kelce and now Charles coughing it up for the third time this season.
It's funny because we've had a couple of these during the course of the year. Bill Levy and his crew, they're going to get down. If they can get a clear visual on it, they don't need somebody to come out of the pile. But again, so uncharacteristic of Kansas City. They were the third best team in the NFL. They've had 2 critical turnovers near midfield this afternoon.
3rd down and 7. Averill coming. Stanton in trouble. Gets out of it initially. Stanton still alive. Looking, and the ball is tipped. Knocked down, incomplete. And so Stanton did a great job to stay alive there, but Earl Thomas coming in and making sure that play didn't get completed, and 3 and out for Arizona.
Well, early pressure from Cliff Averill.
3rd down and 15, the 21-yarder in the opening drive, and that's really the biggest statement that Lynch has made in this game. And now here's LaShawn McCoy. That ball may have come out. It's still out. And it looks like Seattle at the end got on it, and they did. Loss of the season for McCoy. Let's take another look as it is knocked out by K.J. Wright. And then the ball was pinned under the back of Wright. And I think Earl Thomas came in at the end and picked it up. Maxwell was in there. There's Thomas diving in there, and he's the one that gets it. Well, LaShawn McCoy, he does have a tendency to get loose with the ball when he's carrying it there in his right arm, and as he starts to try to make a move, it drops low, and it gets knocked out.
Cunningham in the backfield. Here's Hill. Cunningham open. Can he make a move and get there? Did he have the ball? Yeah, touchback. Before he gets to the end zone. See him making a play. Look at Earl Thomas punching the football.
The ball was fumbled at the half-yard line, into and out of the end zone. It's a touchback. Seattle's ball, first down.
Watch Earl Thomas, 29, come in at the end. See him punch the football before it gets to the goal line. The ball is out of his hand. It goes through the end zone. Touchback. Seattle takes the football.
Newton's going to throw it. In trouble, dumps it off to Stewart. And he's got a good block out on the near side. Fumbles, and it goes backwards, but out of bounds. So Carolina will retain possession. It's going to all told be about a gain of 4.
Jonathan Stewart just found out what many running backs in this league. Seattle goes after the football. K.J. Wright faces him up, and here comes Earl Thomas, the great that they were calling a timeout. 4 clock management by the Panthers.
Blitz coming. Picked up initially. Newton throwing for Benjamin. Short. Intercepted. Earl Thomas has it. And he's down at the 2.
With at least 3 points. He stares down Kelvin Benjamin, and Earl Thomas, all he's doing is playing free safety, playing center field, reading the eyes of Cam Newton. He attacks the football at his highest point.
Oh, I don't know if he got it, John.
That ball's loose. It can touch the ground provided he maintains control. That's going to be interesting on replay.
Can't tell there, but it.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, passing team number 70.
Isaiah Pede in the backfield. This is Pede. And Pede losing the football. And it looks like Bruce Irvin has recovered for Seattle.
You've got to have it secure down the field. Earl Thomas knocks it out.
But he speaks to how he conditioned himself while he wasn't here. 3rd down and 10. Pass is picked off in the end zone. Earl Thomas. Penalty flag after the interception. Thomas gets a block. Still up on his feet, and he takes it down just outside the 30.
Personal foul, defense number 72. They'll retain the ball after a 15-yard penalty. 1st and 10.
Well, they don't come any easier for that for Earl Thomas. He was in a great position right from the time the ball was delivered.
penalty against Bennett, but the Seahawks have it in a tie game.
All the receivers out. Newton throws and it's intercepted. Earl Thomas with his second interception in 2 games.
Yesterday said we can't have the unforced errors. That's always important, but here in front of this 12th man, he said it ignites the crowd. We can't have it, but Earl Thomas, he just stares down the eyes, and Earl Thomas, who does such a great job of doing just that and coming up with the ball, only the second interception for the Seahawks all year.
The fake. Newton puts it up for Olsen, and it's batted away.
In right field, watch Earl Thomas at the center of the play. Watch him read the eyes, and look at this range by Earl Thomas to go get that ball. Extraordinary play by an extraordinary player.
So the Panthers empty again. Palmer fires into the end zone, and it is in the end zone. Looked like Earl Thomas comes away with the ball. Earl Thomas with the pick.
Butler in that situation. It's going to come right through. He saw Floyd coming through and picked it off.
Then he tried to get back into the end zone. His momentum had carried him in there. So Thomas plays the role of Butler.
On second down, a lot of time. He lets it fly for Diggs. Overthrown, and it's intercepted on the play by Earl Thomas. Thomas still going. Now ripped down to the 35 by Diggs, and a penalty. It might be a face mask.
Foul, grasping the face mask. Passing team number 14. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Well, first of all, the high ball. Teddy Bridgewater does have a fundamental flaw in the way he throws the football. His elbow drops down. That causes the ball to sail. But second point, Earl Thomas, we talked about it earlier. He did not play Earl Thomas like football last week. Great players, they don't do it 2 weeks in a row. They come back and they do something about it. Earl Thomas on the spot, then gets up and makes the return. He's a playmaker, was disappointed in the way he played, and came out and tried to do something about it.
We'll stick with Jay here after an incompletion by Stanton brings up 2nd and 10. Here's one pick. That was easy. Earl Thomas slides in front. And the second interception thrown by an Arizona quarterback today for Earl Thomas, his 5th of the year.
You can see Earl Thomas, he just gets lost back there, and Stanton just does not see him at all. The other receiver in the slot maybe blocked his view a little bit from being able to locate the safety. He tries to fit it on the outside, and Earl Thomas, who...
Kyle Rudolph, the tight end, off to his right. Bridgewater sliding and then throwing, and it is dropped. It's incomplete. Earl Thomas just got there. The pass intended for McKinnon. It'll be 4th down.
Yeah, and I think Cam Chancellor got away with one there. Thomas is going to come over the top here and end up making this play, but Cam Chancellor reaches out.
At the controls, and a first down from their own 9. Back to throw, looking far side, tipped. Earl Thomas, is that an interception? Sure looks like it.
Earl Thomas gets a pick. It's been a while, so he does the dead bug and keeps celebrating. That's what this team feasts on.
3rd and 11. Middle of the field, knocked away, almost intercepted. Sanu got his hands on it, and Earl Thomas was there to knock it loose.
Well, you want to know what Seattle does well? This. Run, hit, knock the ball loose. Clean hit by Earl.
He's throwing again, and off the fingertips, and intercepted! Earl Thomas has the pick. He's at midfield. Seattle has the football.
Earl Thomas right there being Johnny on the spot, tips and overthrows. That ball hits 11 right in the hands. And Earl Thomas, you give him a chance, he's going to make you pay. Good job by this Seahawks defense getting the ball back for their offense. And now all they got to do is go down, eat some of this clock, and get a field goal and steal a win from Atlanta.
Andre Ellington in the slot at the bottom, a very good receiver.
Wide. Oh, and jumping it is Earl Thomas to break it up.
6'3", 210 pounds is Thomas. The handoff to Ingram. Ingram fumbles the ball, loses it. Picked up by Earl Thomas to the end zone. Touchdown. Earl Thomas got the loose ball and ran it in 33 yards for the touchdown for Seattle.
Yeah, that's true.
Got the wrong guy.
On 2nd down and 1. Breeze with time, taking a shot down the field for Cooks. Incomplete. Thomas looked like he got a piece of it.
But watch the end of the play, and this is what Seattle's defensive backs do as well as I've seen in football. They don't panic at the end of route. See Earl Thomas, he locates the ball, sees Cooks, and plays through the ball and through his hands at the end of the route. You see that? A lot of DBs in that position panic at the end. Oh boy, what do I do? What do I do?
Decker, look at all the penalty yards. They're down to 25. First down, Tennessee. So the big penalties help. Here's Henry stretching left. Oh my goodness, look at Earl Thomas with the speed, and Henry with a big loss of 5.
To me, I would have gone ahead and checked on Richard Sherman right there to see if he got it back. But watch this play. Watch
as he is the primary target.
Gurley, the lone setback. That's Austin in motion. Pitch play. This is Gurley finding daylight. Gurley. No signal yet. And now they say touchdown. Gurley extending the football, breaking the plane.
No, there's no question. You just see him reach out, the ball out, left foot out of bounds, and clearly that's going to be down at the yard line. But here's the question. Did that ball get fumbled out of the end zone? Did it go inside the pylon?
Rams trying to retake the lead as we come up on the final 6 minutes. Goff's pass wobbling and intercepted. And guess who? It's Thomas again. Thomas finally tackled by Kupp.
106 pounds, second-year player, just walking back. Roger Saffold into Jared Goff. Jared Goff cannot follow through. You see a hand right there. The arm cannot follow through. He floats it up in the air, and then, of course, that ball hangs in the air that long. Earl Thomas.
Intercepted, picked off by Thomas. Earl Thomas with the foot race. Brown won't get him. That will be 6. No flags. Touchdown.
Earl Thomas. DeAndre Hopkins said this is the best safety in football. He is reading the eyes of the quarterback the entire way. He knows where Deshaun Watson wants to throw the football. To DeAndre Hopkins inside on the slot against Richard Sherman.
High praise. After the 5-yard gain. Pass upfield, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Earl Thomas. How about that? How about paying dividends, Earl Thomas?
Well, one thing about Earl Thomas, you can see him right here. Watch him put his foot in the ground. He reads this route to the outside. That's skinny, right down the seam. He reads it, puts his foot in the ground, and just attacks that football. It's why he's the best center fielder in all the game. And I'm telling you, do I need practice? No, I don't need practice. I'll just come out here and make plays with a week of practice, missing training camp.
Some emphasis to help out these receivers, and it has shown. Rare throw. Pass is broken up, and now they're going to say catch and fumble. Thomas on the return. Gallup had it, lost it. They're calling it a catch, and Seattle takes over inside the 30. Incomplete pass.
Well, let's take a look at it and see. I didn't see that it hit the ground. Gallup had it. And it's hard to tell from that angle, but it's close as to whether or not the ball hit the ground with Earl Thomas there off the deflection.
It's on his leg.
That's an interception.
That should be an interception. Instead of a catch and fumble, it was in and out of the hands of Gallup, the rookie.
Challenging the ruling on the field of an incomplete
And
pass.
Thomas pins it against his leg. Is that what you saw, Mike Pereira?
Easy catch. Beasley came away limping after that tackle. Here's one over the middle, in the air, and it is intercepted by Seattle and Earl Thomas as he bows to the Dallas sideline. Let's take another look.
Yeah, the ball gets tipped up, and Jarwin is basically just trying to knock the ball down, get it out of there, and pull it in. It's just the hot potato, and Earl Thomas, the guy who seemingly is always around the ball, comes up with it once again.
Taunting, number 29 of the intercepting team.
He gets called for the taunting.
Hawks lead 7-0, but it's 2nd and 11 for Josh Rosen and the Cardinals on the 27. Here comes pressure for Rosen, and his throw is going to be near the sideline. And let's see if inbounds. It was a touchdown for Chad Williams.
Running up the field, and this is not open. This is a quarterback throwing you open right here. Great adjustment by Chad Williams. We just talked about the fact that he needs to step up his game, but it's the confidence of Josh Rosen. And Josh Rosen, not arrogance. Confidence is born from a place of humility. I've done the work. Let's see if both feet get in. Ooh.
He's under review.
I'm not sure. The right foot may have been out of bounds. He touched that pylon.
2nd and 6. Pressure coming. Fitzpatrick steps up, throws on the run, and it's picked off. Guess who? Earl Thomas. Welcome to Baltimore, and he's not down yet. Thomas cuts it back at midfield and spun down. Earl Thomas, in 4 games against Ryan Fitzpatrick, now has 4 interceptions against Fitzpatrick, and Baltimore takes over.
Pivotal play for the Baltimore defense. 4th down. Snap was low. Mahomes won't get there. Mahomes lost the football at the end of it. It doesn't matter. Baltimore takes over.
Brady fires, knocked down at the goal line. Earl Thomas. Intended for Edelman. That sets up 4th down and brings in the field goal unit.
This is the game within the game. 2 great veteran players. You'll see Thomas, his job as...
Crowd in full throat. Blitz coming, but it's picked up, and Brady's going for 6 deep downfield, and then we picked off at the 7-yard line by Earl Thomas. And Thomas with a run back all the way out to the 33-yard line. Intended for Sanu. Thomas is there in deep center field. And another turn.
Working on the Cincinnati side with that right now. So 4th and 8. Finney facing pressure. It's Bernard. Clark knocks it away. That is loose, and it's gobbled up on the play by Earl Thomas. And look at the multi-Pro Bowl selection. A turnover. He has it at about the 36, 37-yard line. And a second turnover by Cincinnati. The secondary.
They go empty backfield on 3rd and 2. Garoppolo stands in. Pocket collapses. Trying to stay alive. Garoppolo surging forward. And he is going to be shy of a 1st down. Gets
Division II product from Grand Valley State. 2nd and 14. Back to the bread and butter. Singletary. That second wave of Baltimore defenders gets to Singletary and drives him backwards for a loss of 1. And now Buffalo finds itself in a 17-6 hole. Allen is sacked and he loses the football. Earl Thomas. He didn't touch him.
Well, it's another blindside shot. Allen has no chance, never senses.
Back the other way. It's going to lose. Nope. Landry able to shake off. Yeah, it's going to lose yardage. It's going to lose some big yardage.
He was pretending to throw the ball, but really, I guess second break because they got the fumble earlier, but tried to screen pass. And Humphrey's very physical. He guarded Beckham the whole first.
180. Toss, punt. Oh, man, that football is up in the air. Somehow he holds on to it with one hand. I'm not sure why, but he never fumbled it.
They tend to cash in when they get to to this part of the field, inside the 5 on a 2nd and goal. Rush coming. Tannehill has to eat it. Earl Thomas. He did not have a sack in his career until this season with the Ravens.
Here he is right here. He's got a clear shot at Tannehill. Tannehill looking this way, never sees him. It's fortunate for Tannehill. He hung on to the ball as Thomas drops him for an 8-yard loss.
They've been in playoff mode for an extended period of time. Fake it. On the boot. Smith gets leveled by Earl Thomas. No gain on the play.
Well, Earl Thomas came from center field to make this play. He ran about 30 yards.